What's happening, guys? Welcome into another boxing breakdown and prediction show for this weekend's lightweight clash. Between still one of the best pound-for-pound fighters on the planet right now, in my opinion, and Vasiliy Lomachenko, as he takes on former IBF champion Richard Commey over on ESPN Plus this weekend. So, let's get into it now. Lomachenko comes into this one as the huge minus 900 favourite, with Commey coming back at a plus 500. And, I think those odds are justified, in my opinion. We've kind of had this conversation before, in fairness, kind of regarding former pound for pound number ones. With how quick they are to kind of fall from grace. One of my favourite fighters comes to mind, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, where, 1 minute he's almost universally loved. Everyone has him top of the pound for pound rankings. He's a media star. The whole Superfly glamour division as well. And then one loss later, suddenly all the sharks are out in the water. Always past his best, or he was never that good to begin with. And then, following that up with having, absolutely ludicrous lines posted in him where guys like Califay are favoured over him in fights. So, this kind of resembles this for me, where Lomachenko is at right now as well. The young guns in the division are all calling him out after his last loss to Teofimo Lopez last year. The hindsight brigade are out in full force as well with their, he's got 2 losses in 17 fights. He was always a bit overrated. But my advice is you better be careful what you wish for, because in my opinion, Lomachenko is still one of the best pound for pound guys on the planet right now, despite that loss last year. And even in that fight, he absolutely roared back in the second half of that fight against Teofimo Lopez as well. And I expect another emphatic victory from him here against Richard Commey on Saturday night as well. Whether it's quite as emphatic as what Teofimo Lopez managed to do to Commey, I'd probably say not. But, what we saw with Lomachenko against Nakatani in the summer, that was absolutely vintage Loma against a very dangerous opponent, in my opinion. The movement was there, the crispness was there. And similar to that fight, I just don't see Commey surviving the distance here. I see this one going down a very similar path to the Nicholas Walters fight, in all honesty. Commey's a big guy for the weight. He hits with a ton of power, but I just see him getting broken down late here by Lomachenko in this one. Prior to the Teofimo Lopez loss, 2 of Lomachenko's previous 3 fights had all gone the distance, but that was against Jose Pedraza, very underrated technical fighter, in my opinion, and, Luke Campbell over in the UK as well. Campbell did well in that fight, no doubt, but, he was in survival mode for a lot of that fight, hurt multiple times, he was dropped. So I don't see this being that type of fight here. Commey's more of a come forward type of guy. Absolutely bombed out a highly touted Jackson Martinez in his last fight. And that's the type of fighter Lomachenko traditionally feasts on. Roman Martinez, Nicholas Walters, Jason Sosa, heavy-handed fighters who like to walk forward, where Loma can walk them on the shots and punish them. Commey is a tough guy, no question. And look, while I don't see him being taken out in the same fashion as what Teofimo Lopez managed to do to him, I just see more of an accumulation of punishment here. Similar to what we saw against Nicholas Walters. As I said, similar to Nakatani as well, where he's just broken down consistently over time. So, Lomachenko looks like he's on an absolute mission right now. He's already said he wants to unify, and he simply can't afford any more slip-ups here. He'll be 34 years of age in February. That's huge down at the lighter weight. So he needs to come in here. He needs to dispatch Commey in style and put a mark on the rest of the division here. And, providing he can do that, there's some absolutely terrific fights to look forward to next year against the other champions. So I'm going to take Lomachenko in this one. I think he'll end up stopping Commey late with an accumulation of punishment down the stretch. So, the prop bet I like in this one is Lomachenko round 7-12. At plus 137 on Saturday. I like that price. I think Commey is obviously, tough. I think he's got enough to grind it out early here. But at some stage, I just see the Matrix taking over here, kind of getting to him late closing the show. So, yeah, Vasiliy Lomachenko this weekend for me, round 7-12, plus 137. That's what I'm going to be on for this fight. That'll wrap things up for this week. As always, leave us your thoughts in the comment section below. And you can also catch me over on Twitter at the SportsWolf83 and at my handicapper page, Kevin Dolan, over at WagerTalk. As always, thanks for listening. Till next time, Slán